The hunted around, but there was no one to be seen. The town was deserted, yet Alex could feel the weight of unseen eyes on him, watching from every dark corner. "Please," he muttered, his voice trembling as he tried to force himself to step back, to retreat into the safety of his car. But it was as though the very air had changed, holding him in place. The world around him began to blur, as though reality itself was fraying at the edges. The fog thickened, and Alex's vision began to fade, the shadows dancing and shifting, becoming something more, something monstrous. He was close now, so close he could hear the figure's breath, low, ragged, like the sound of wind through dead leaves. Forward. "No," Alex whispered, his voice barely a sound. He wanted to move, to run, but his feet refused to follow his command. It was as if the very fabric of reality had changed, warping around him, trapping him in this endless limbo-like space. Then the whispers grew louder, more urgent, the words in their long, thin fingers, and the whispers, now louder and more insistent, began to form into words. "We are all here, waiting." He could feel it. Something was wrong, horribly wrong. His eyes darted around, but he could no longer make sense of the space around him. The road had become a living, breathing thing, its cracks oozing with thick black tar in the darkness. He was no longer a prisoner of the highway, no longer part of its unending cycle. And then, with one final defiant step, Alex crossed the threshold. The light enveloped him, warm and pure. The darkness shrieked in frustration, but it was powerless against the force of his will. The road, the figures, the whisper visible in the fading light. Alex approached cautiously, his heart pounding. He could see the figure now, their face pale, their eyes wide with fear, staring ahead at the empty road. "Are you all right?" Alex asked, his voice shaky. The traveler didn't respond at first, their eyes not meeting his. It was only when Alex took another step closer that the heavy weight that crushed any last remnants of hope he had left. "Welcome home." It wasn't a welcome. It was a sentence. The road had always claimed him, and now, no matter how far he had tried to run, no matter how hard he had fought, it was pulling him back. The mist thickened, closing in around him, suffocating the light, suffocating his thoughts. He felt him one last time, but no sound came. There was no air left in his lungs, no breath in his body. He was a part of the road now, just another piece of the cycle. The shadows closed in, the mist wrapping around him, and the road stretched on, waiting. "Welcome home," it whispered again, as the darkness consumed him completely, and the cycle began anew. The cycle through mud, slow and unrelenting, yet it carried him forward, inch by inch. His body was no longer his own, his will no longer his own. He was becoming part of it, the road, the cycle, the endless nightmare. And then, as he was about to lose himself completely, a strange sensation jolted through him, a surge